Welcome back, guys. It's been almost 2 months, actually over 2 months since the last video that I posted. As you can tell from the decoration behind me, it's almost Christmas. What happened was that I was doing a lot of freelance work, and since I didn't want to slow down the actual vlog for the Portuguese and the Via Francigena, I decided to put this on hold. Now that the Portuguese is done, I posted the last video this morning, and also the Via Francigena, I finished the whole France section, taking a little break until January before I jump back on that one. So I also went on a little adventure, a side adventure. I went to Aconcagua in Argentina. Aconcagua is the tallest mountain in the American continent. And although I didn't make it to the summit, I got caught in a storm 200 meters away from the summit. I did get to fly the drone all the way up. You can see the video in the link above and below. So now this little drone has flown over 23,000 feet of elevation, almost over 7,000 meters. So yeah, another record for my little drone that's been with me through thick and thin, in all over Europe, in South America, and now he's flown that high. I don't know if that's a record or not, but I did it. 23,000 feet, baby. So yeah, back into the series. As you guys already know, the Camino Portuguese. Here is Spain. You got the Frances on top. You got a bunch of caminos that you can do here. The Camino Portuguese, you have different routes. You have the central route, which is the most popular one, and you also have the coastal one. I was doing the Litoral, which is pretty much bordering the coast. You can start down here in Faro, Lisbon, or Porto. I decided to start in Porto because I was doing 3 caminos back to back. I was doing the Portuguese, the Norte, Inglés, and I also walked from Muxia to Fisterra. Day 5 today on the Camino Portuguese, the coastal one. As you already know, I'm doing the Litoral. I'm trying to stick to the coast as much as possible because I want to enjoy the views. Also, the weather was amazing. My entire trip, I only got 1 day of 2 hours of a drizzle, so no rain, which on the Portuguese that's unheard of, but it did happen, and I was lucky that way. Started in Viana do Castelo today after a crazy night. As you guys saw on the vlog, there was a guy that got into the Albergue like at 1:30 in the morning, and we thought we were getting robbed for sure. As it turns out, it was just a drunk looking for a place to crash. When the hospitalero told me the day before not to close the back door, I thought that was kind of weird. Now I know why. Hindsight 2020, I should have stayed all the way up here on this hill by this church. There's also an albergue there. It's a little bit away from the historical center where the place is to eat, but I'm sure the views from up there would have been breathtaking. Today there are 2 options that you can take if you want to follow. The coastal one goes here inland through all these towns. You have more support. I guess you have places to eat, but I wanted to stick to the coast. The Litoral, there's very few signs along the way, but if you trail the coast, I mean, there's no other way that you can go but forward, following the wooden pathways or the dirt path. It was a combination of both. I started the day at 8 in the morning, had breakfast at a cafe right next door to the albergue. See, you come out of the albergue out here through the back. This door is open, and also the door to get into the albergue was open. Big mistake. That's hindsight 2020. Had breakfast here, then decided that I wanted to fly the drone from this corner. I wanted to get a shot, as you can see here, of the church all the way up here to the top. Look at it in 3D. The albergue is actually here in the middle between the church and this hotel back here. There's you can actually go up here, I think here, right next to the train station. Now we were staying here, but the railroad will divide us from the historical side. The only way to get across is to walk all the way down here and go under the bridge. Never went in that direction. Actually, we had dinner over here. There's a restaurant in this corner. That's where we had dinner last night. So this morning after breakfast, I came here, got a few shots of the bridge with the drone of the town, and then decided to head out, follow my GPS tracks. Here, this is where all the hotels, guest houses, places to eat, the historical site. There was a no-fly zone in here, right in the middle. That's why I couldn't take off from this spot right here. So I had to walk around it to try to get a shot of the church, and that's what I did. By the time I got here to this roundabout, I had a clear shot of the church, clear line of sight. It was a kilometer away. It was gonna take me a battery pretty much to go there and back, especially on a windy day. That's what I did. Got my shots all the way up here. Also got some shots of today's stage. You can see this the planes here and the two Caminos. Flew back just in the nick of time. I had about 20% battery left, which is still plenty. I think around 10% is when the drone decides I'm gonna land no matter where I am. So I had some juice still left. Walked out, joined the coastal here, the pathways, and made it to this fort, which was a gem, I would say. Very nice views of the coast. There were people walking around. I got inside the fort, which is in complete ruins, walked all the way up here and got some amazing drone shots of me just standing there like a hero shot, you know, looking out. Very nice. And then decided to continue on. See, if you can see here, this is where the wooden pathway ends and the dirt path begins. A lot of joggers here and people just walking around, especially closer to the city. As you start walking ahead, then you're on your own. Came across the first windmill of the day around here by this little, what is that, factory. Got some shots facing the coast of me just walking by. Look at it. Very nice in 3D, huh? And then continue on. That was the first one, but not the last one of the day. There are a few more up ahead. So a Cruzeiro here. So you can see there's no support, not yet. Nothing to eat, no cafes, but everything else is over here. In case you're walking and the weather turns on you, you can jump across, go back in for some coverage. But for me, it was just perfect weather. 11 in the morning, continue on walking. And around here is the first place where you can actually stop for a break. Right here, there's a restaurant. I think it was closed when I passed by, so I continue on. What is this, an anchor? Yeah, I saw an anchor here outside this house. Very nice, got a couple of shots there with the Osmo. And this is where the climbing actually started. Not too bad, only 50 meters of elevation. All the way up here to a couple of windmills. There's a lighthouse and this here pole. Saw it from this corner over here, didn't get to walk over there. But I did get to enjoy the two windmills. I think the one on the left here is from 1877. Very nice. Saw two pilgrims here, two Portuguese pilgrims that I will get to see along the way. Actually, I saw them at the end of today's stage and tomorrow. Here's another windmill and the lighthouse that I was talking about. And then from here, you come down once again. Came across Niels and Alex right here. They did come this way. So you have that option if you don't want to go up. If you want to stick to sea level, not climbing, you can go left and it will rejoin. We walked together for a while here next to another fort. Here's a 155 kilometer sign to Santiago. Don't trust that because I think tomorrow in Spain, I will get to see another sign saying 165 kilometers to Santiago. So, just take that with a grain of salt. Walk together here. Alex was carrying too much weight and his Achilles tendons were acting up. So I gave him a couple of ibuprofen for the pain. Just like me on the Camino Frances, I was getting deja vu. Here there's, I guess, an official route if you want to jump from the coastal to the litoral, but as you can see here, you can do it on your own. There are plenty of roads that will intersect. In this town, you have a bunch of hotels, farmhouses, bed and breakfast if you want to call it a day early, or if you're doing different stages than from what I was doing. You have all these options, and also in these towns you have places to eat. Around here, Alex was under a lot of pain, and he decided that he wanted to stay back and take a break. He was actually debating whether in the next town he was going to take a bus to Caminha, and we continue on down. There's another fort here. I think I got a shot. It was 1 p.m. Yeah, I think I got a shot from here. There was some flowers and the fort in the back. It was a pretty sight. Continue on walking. Another place here to stop for refreshments. But around here, we came across this older gentleman. I don't remember his name or the country where he was from. He was European. We walked together for a while. The wind started picking up. You can see the sand was already covering the pathways, the wooden pathways. And we split ways around here because I wanted to continue following my tracks. He didn't want to get into the sand, and there was some confusion whether there was a bridge here or not. There was, but you couldn't see it because of this little hill right here. So he went this way instead, back to the road, all the way around. That was quite the detour. Niels and I continue on, playful dog around here before we started climbing over this hill, and then we joined the road. Not too bad. This whole area was full of restaurants where you can stop and get something to eat. It was a little bit on the expensive side, but I mean, this is a beachfront property. So we continue on, and here where the two caminos join, the coastal one and the litoral, I saw this small lighthouse, and I just wanted to play a little joke. I had my Osmo on my selfie stick, and as I was going up the lighthouse, the wind blew and it knocked it over, and it broke the ND filter that I had attached to it, and also the protective screen. It smashed it, so that was a bummer. We continue on walking to this place here where we decided to have lunch facing another fort. I had like a chicken sandwich, fries, and a beer. And while I was there, I took my Swiss Army knife and I broke the protective glass because I could see that the lens was way back in the distance and it wasn't really affecting it. And I just needed to get it out of the way because this is was my main vlogging camera for this Camino del Norte Ingles. I mean, the whole trip was depending on this one because I really like the stabilization on it. There's a video that I did on this camera, like a little video review. I'll put the link up and below. And yeah, from then on, the camera kept working fine, but since you see there's like jagged edges on it, it will create like a weird flare from the sun. As I'm walking, the sun is usually from behind, so it's kind of like backlit, and that will cause problems with the autofocus. Also, if you're wearing glasses, like those that I'm wearing right there, the camera had problems locking onto my face, and sometimes I will be a little bit soft. The shots were a little bit out of focus, so keep that in mind, don't wear glasses. 2 in the afternoon, we saw the older gentleman walk by, and we actually caught up with him down the line. By 3, we were out of the town and the wind was kicking. I had to put on my buff and my down jacket, put away all the electronics because it was so cold and windy. Continue on walking down around here, around this chapel. This is where we came across the gentleman once again, and we walked together all the way to Caminha, talking, following the coast. The next town here, another split. You can continue on walking on the main road pretty much, which is not nice because the shoulder was very narrow. We decided to instead follow the litoral. There were a bunch of guys here windsurfing with this fort in the background. It was a very nice looking shot. You could see already Spain, Galicia in the distance. Here's the border. And then we went through this forest, this stretch here. Very nice. It gave us some protection from the wind, and also it was a very nice environment, kind of like to finish the day. Campground here facing the bay, the river delta. If you want to do the Camino on a budget, even more so, you can stay in campgrounds. There are a few along the way. Made it to town, came across a bunch of pilgrims. The Portuguese couple was also one of them. They were not heading to the albergue. They actually had accommodations. I don't know if it was at a hotel or one of these guest houses that you have here. Historical center full of places to eat, bars, restaurant, the whole 9 yards. We headed to the albergue and we got here at 5 p.m. There were 8 other pilgrims already. There was a queue or a line waiting for the hospitalero to show up. This albergue was just in renovation from the beginning of the year, and it had opened a week before we arrived. Was here like towards the end of March. So we had a brand new albergue. It even had codes to get in. And at 10:30 p.m., if you're outside, the door's locked and you can't get in. So keep that in mind. Brand new albergue, great showers. We had the whole place almost all to ourselves. It was a small group of less than 10 pilgrims in there. Out of the 8 that were outside waiting, like 4 of them got tired of waiting and left. I guess they went to another place. We went to this supermarket here a couple of blocks away, bought enough supplies to make ourselves a pilgrim's meal, which was very nice. It was a nice way to end the day and to end the stage in Portugal. We're not too far away from the ferry. Here's the ferry. The thing was that the ferry was under renovations, or they were fixing it that week. So we had to get actually a private boat to ferry us across. When you get here, you have 2 options. You can stay in this town, or if you want, you can cross into Spain, but then you have to walk like about 4 kilometers to Guarda, where there's an albergue, and this whole section here, check it out. It's a very steep climb. You're gonna see that tomorrow in the elevation profile. So I don't know if that's a great way to end a very long 29-kilometer day, adding another 4 in the mountains, but it's up to you. You have the option. So that's it, guys. That was day 5. Very nice day, especially after what happened the day before, and a great way to end Portugal. Tomorrow we enter Galicia, and it's another new stage of the trip, and I'll see you guys there.